Test 5. This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to part 1. Part 1. You will hear a woman who works at an employment agency talking to a man about jobs he could apply for. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6. Good morning. How may I help you?
Good morning. We spoke on the phone last week, and I'm ringing to get more details about the job.
That's right. Thank you for sending in your CV. We've carefully looked at it, and I think we have several jobs that might suit you.
That's great.
The first one is in a magazine based in North London. They're looking for a reporter.
What sort of magazine is it?
They're called Home Solutions, which publishes articles on housing every week, and they want to find someone responsible for collecting the latest news and writing relevant articles.
What are the hours of work?
Well, you will be expected to work 40 hours a week, but there may be opportunities to do overtime during busy periods. For example, some may work more than 50 hours a week and get extra pay, but you're not required to do this.
That's reasonable. Do you know what the rates of pay are?
Yes, it says you'll get a monthly pay of £7,000 for the first 6 months, and after the probatory period, you'll be eligible for a salary of more than that, maybe £7,500 or more.
That's good.
So, is that something that might interest you?
It is, yes. The only thing is, you say they are in North London, so it would be a pretty long commute for me.
In that case, the second position might suit you better regarding location. That's a researcher for an electronic engineering company in South London.
Yes, that would be a lot closer.
Your CV shows you have relevant working experience in this field.
Yes, I worked in the office of a computer engineering company for 2 years. What about the working hours?
For this job, you'll have to work 45 hours a week, and the starting salary is £7,200 for the 6-month probationary period.
That should be nice.
I can arrange for you an interview if you're interested. But before that, may I ask where you heard about us? Was it in an advert, or did your friend tell you?
Neither. It was a website. Then I just got your number from the phone book.
Oh, right. Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10. Apart from full-time jobs, we have some part-time work that might suit you. Here, several magazines are recruiting part-time writers. Are you interested?
What kind of writer exactly? I mean, what types of articles should I write about?
Well, the first one is to do with sports reports. For this, you're expected to write sports articles twice weekly.
Well, I love sports. I'm a football fan, but as far as writing is concerned, I'm not entirely keen on that. I think I'll rule it out.
Okay, then how about writing something for entertainment? Does it appeal to you?
Entertainment is an exciting topic. I like reading news or articles in this category, but I'm not sure if I should write something about it. Anyway, I'll think about that. Could you give me more details?
Okay, I've got your email, and I will send the details to you later.
Thanks.
And the third one is writing reviews for soap dramas.
Oh, soap drama is my favorite. I worked as a freelance writer in this field 3 years ago. I think it's pretty worthwhile to give my own opinions and recommendations to the audience.
That's good. And the last one is writing articles for a business economy magazine.
I'm unfamiliar with this field, so I think it might not be easy.
Don't worry too much. Experience is not essential for this job. They've got a training session for every recruit.
That sounds not too bad.
Okay, would you like me to send you the pamphlet so that you can learn more about it?
That will be nice.
Okay, that's it. I'll send you all the information later, and that is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 1.
Part 2. You will hear an introduction from a tour guide about suggestions for an island. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14.
Hello everyone, I'm Hazel, the guide from Travel Light Agency. Since we mentioned the trip to Moona Island in the last programme, we've received several online messages from those who have been there. As a result, we've collected some helpful do's and don'ts for new visitors, which will hopefully help you to know the island better and enjoy your stay to the fullest. The first suggestion is about tips. Although tipping is required in most circumstances in Moona Island, the amount you should give differs significantly. If you take a taxi, there is no set rate on how much you should leave to the driver. Someone may give a generous tip if he thinks the service is fantastic. It's up to you entirely. However, if you go to the hairdressers or enjoy a meal in the restaurant and the bill comes with no service charge, a 10% tip is advisable. Moona Island has got relatively good medical service. If you get sick, the quickest way is to ask the hotel to arrange an English-speaking doctor for you. But remember, it's not a complimentary service. The other alternative is to visit the local clinic, and you have to prepare for the charge as well. I should remind you that the medical service on the island can be pricey, so it's better to buy your insurance before you leave. When you visit Moona Island, you'll see the notice nearly everywhere. Tap water is safe to drink. but you might not get used to its weird taste because it contains minerals. In this case, you can buy bottled water sold in every shop, but you'd better make sure the sealed lid is untouched, as the locals often put tap water into the bottle.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 15 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
Then I'll focus on transportation in Moona Island. The bus is the most commonly used means of transportation for local residents. Although there aren't many bus lines, they're always on time. However, some people complained that the road was so bumpy that they even got nausea and dizziness. As a result, it's not a good choice if you want to sit peacefully and relax on the way. And another thing is, before you jump on the bus, inquire of the driver about where the bus will go. Unlike most cities, here in Moona Island, you cannot find the destination shown in front of the bus or at the bus stop. Maybe you found the bus service is not so enjoyable. In that case, you can always rent a car. If you choose this way, I advise you to prepare well beforehand. Although some taxi companies provide car rental services, many visitors sometimes find nobody answering the phone. So leave this way when you are in a hurry. It's wise to compare several car rental companies online beforehand, as the price may vary a lot. Booking via hotel may be overcharged, as it contains a 10% commission, so it's also not advisable. More importantly, don't forget to check with the company what the price covers in detail, like daily rental expenses, car insurance, commission, etc. It usually includes unlimited mileage too, but fuel is excluded. If you don't want to drive, a taxi is the quickest and most comfortable way, although few are available on Moona Island. If you want to find a taxi quickly, it's not a good idea to reserve through the taxi company, as sometimes you'll have quite a wait, especially in the rush hour. The easiest way is just waving your hands on the street to stop the taxi. Otherwise, the driver will drive away directly after he drops off the guests. Oh, another thing is, I have to remind you that there is no meter for taxis in Moona Island, so before you jump in the taxi, you'd better negotiate with the driver about how much you're going to pay. For example, if you take a taxi from the airport at night, it may cost you. So confirm the price before you get in. Okay, that's all about the tips for Moona Island that I want to share today. And are there any questions?
That is the end of part 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 2.
Part 3. You will hear a student talking to a tutor at her college about the possibility of changing her course. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24. Excuse me, Professor. Can I talk to you for a minute?
Yes, do come in. So you're Sally Lehman?
That's it.
You want to discuss with me changing courses, right?
Yes.
All right. What course are you doing at present, Sally?
It's economic history.
Okay. And when did you begin this course?
Let me think. It was last September.
Right. Good. Before we talk through all your problems with the course, I want to know what courses you'd like to change to.
Well, there are several courses that I've thought about, but my first choice would be politics.
Oh, it's one of the most popular courses in our college.
Yes, I know. So it means there might not be places available.
That's right. I'll still make a note of that, but it's better to give another option.
Well, I've thought of changing the course entirely to business studies, but then I realised it is new to me, so I think philosophy might be a better choice. Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Okay, that's useful to know. Then let's talk through any problems you've been having at the moment and see if there is any possibility for us to offer help. After all, with all the efforts that you've made already, it'll be a pity to give up the present course and completely start a new one.
Yes, I agree with that. I've learned something valuable about economic history.
Good. Well, let's talk about your problems. What do you think is your significant difficulty in the course?
Well, I have to say the biggest problem is that the lectures are difficult.
Okay. And have you tried something to overcome this problem?
Yes, I have. I tried recording the lectures because I couldn't follow what the lecturer said.
Yes, that's a good idea. And did you find it helped?
To a certain extent, but...
Well, recording is a good strategy, but I also advise you to take part in the discussion group with other fellow students to discuss the lectures and exchange ideas with them.
Yes, I've seen some of my classmates doing that. I'll ask them if I can join.
Good. I'm sure you'll find it helps. And any other problems?
Yes, the second problem is I think there aren't enough tutorials for this course.
Okay, I think you can talk to your tutor about this.
Yes, I did that, but the tutor is so busy that I must wait until she is available.
Why don't you try arranging meetings ahead of time?
Well, I can try this way.
Good.
But I suppose the thing that made me upset recently is my poor assignment grade.
Oh, the grade is an important issue.
Well, I think I've tried my best to achieve a good score. I did more background reading than before for the last assignment we just submitted.
Good. And did you feel that helped?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Well, I think you can try another strategy, which is to visit student services, which offer a lot of helpful advice on assignment preparation.
Oh, I've never heard about that.
I'll give you a booklet with details on this. You'll find it well worth trying.
Okay, I'll certainly try it.
Okay, that's all the problem. Well, I've made a record of our discussions and suggested strategies. Typically, we advise you to try out these suggestions for a short period and then come back to discuss the situation to see whether it is improved. If not, we will start considering alternative courses.
OK. When shall I come back?
How about in a month's time?
OK.
That will be on the 17th of February. How about 3:30 in the afternoon? Is that all right for you?
Yes, sure. And where shall I meet you?
I'm afraid I will be on leave at that time, but I'll leave this record to our senior advisor, and you will meet with him then in this office.
OK.
Good. That's it. Let's see whether things can improve, Sally.
OK. Thanks very much.
My pleasure. Bye.
That is the end of part 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 3. Part 4. You will hear a student from the architecture faculty giving a presentation about houses that are built underground. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
For my presentation today, I will focus on earth-sheltered housing, or underground housing as it's more commonly known. I'll illustrate how it can meet the demands of ecological, environmental planning regarding building and energy resources. Let's first look at the advantages of earth-sheltered housing. Perhaps the most significant merit of earth-sheltered housing is the low impact on the environment, since houses built underground can hardly be seen from the surface. Then, earth-sheltered houses are not only environmentally friendly, but also surprisingly efficient regarding energy. It is because underground housing can make great use of the alternative technologies to improve energy efficiency. Moreover, many earth-sheltered housing projects use natural, non-toxic building materials. Some are even more durable than standard building materials. As a result, earth-sheltered houses have a lifespan of 500 years or more. This type of building technique means less exposure to the outside elements like sunshine, storm, snow, etc. So it can give the houses actual protection and keep the maintenance of the houses to the minimum. Earth-sheltered houses also give people a quiet environment. As we know, noise is a severe problem in modern society, and many people consider moving home because of this. In that case, earth-sheltered houses might be a good choice, because living underground means those people will no longer suffer from the disturbances caused by the traffic on the road. And lastly, earth-sheltered houses also bring significant health advantages to people. Because of the sophistication of the ventilation systems installed in earth-sheltered houses, it provides a comfortable living environment for people who have asthma and other chest diseases. Then let's move on to earth-sheltered housing in the UK. Despite all the apparent advantages we mentioned above, earth-sheltered housing still isn't a popular choice for most British families, as the statistics show. The British Earth Sheltering Association tries to persuade people to try this type of accommodation, saying that it's easier to get planning permission for an earth-sheltered house. In contrast, for a conventional home, there is always too much red tape. A lot of evidence shows that the building development offices are more sympathetic to earth-sheltered projects, especially in the conservation areas. On the sites where conventional houses aren't usually allowed to build, earth-sheltered housing might be a feasible solution. And there is even a possibility that one day earth-sheltered houses can take the place of mobile homes along the coastlines in the UK. In the last part, I'd like to talk about two different projects in the UK, Mole Manor and Hockerton. When it was first built, Mole Manor attracted wide publicity around the world. A newspaper poll conducted by the Earth Sheltering Association showed that Mole Manor was voted as one of the 12 most desirable places to live in the world. Similarly, Hockerton aroused considerable interest from the international media as well, winning several awards for its innovative environmental design. The running cost for Mole Manor is much lower than that of conventional houses. It is because Mole Manor is installed with an effective insulation system, significantly reducing its heating bill, while at Hockerton, all the basic needs of families living there are satisfied by energies in this area. For example, wind power, solar energy and rain are used to generate enough warmth, water for washing and drinking, and electricity for lighting and cooking. As a result, people there can live a lifestyle in harmony with the environment. It is also proved that at Hockerton, earth-sheltered houses can be built on a modest budget, because it gives priority to cost when designing the houses. But it is not the case with Mole Manor, which pays more attention to style than cost. Compared with the homely cottage style at Hockerton, the houses at Mole Manor are expensive, beautiful, and comfortable, and it is said that these houses are worth more than £800,000 today. In conclusion, Mole Manor and Hockerton projects show that earth-sheltered housing has numerous advantages. They can not only provide comfortable and stylish houses to people, but are also beneficial to the environment. And with the help of new energy-saving technology, it can meet all the criteria for ecological and environmental planning.
That is the end of Part 4. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to Part 4.